who's ready for a noontime movement snack then? That was a rather deep breath I just took, wasn't it? Hopefully you're all good and well. You're ready for your morning to finish and for your afternoon to begin. That's if you're here on the live or doing it at the proper time, 12 noon, of course. Saying that though, the proper time of 12 noon might not fit into your schedule. So we have the beauty of catcher-uppering. And if you are in that camp, the catcher-upper camp, go ahead, go forth and complete this movement snack at whatever time you like. It's crowbar-inable. That's what it is. It's doable at any time of the day that you can fit us in. And we're grateful for your catching up efforts as well. So thank you for that, those of you who are playing catcher-uppering today or any other day of the week saying that. Right, we've got our first few takers for the live show, dare I say it. Here's Mrs. Perry, here's Sue Tilley, both of you in and signed off on the movement snack register. What are you lot saying today? I've always got a little bit of randomness to say. So what's your randomness for today? Do you just want to say hello, or have you got anything to tell us? Anything to share? Movement snacker to movement snacker. Or snackmate to snackmate. Right. Oh, sorry about that. Just got a finger right in your face almost, didn't you there? Vivian Dickinson is in. Hello, Bolton. Is Paul there with you? I normally get a double wavy hand from the Dickinson duo. Hopefully the Facebook messaging service is working today. Else, you might just get me just talking. And, I might not be able to say when it's time to actually start. So I might have to run off and just have a look at the timer at the other end of the room. You know, your central heating timer thingy-majiggy. Ken Green's just joined us. Happy day to you. It might be a happy day to you, I don't know. Hopefully it will get better from my chirpiness throughout this movement snack. I do not know. This might do your day or it might ruin your day. It depends whether you're in the mood for me or not. But on today's movement snack, what we have coming up, the menu is heel raises and toe raises. Again, this is our feature move throughout my noontime movement snacks throughout this week. And this is the May couple of movements that you will find on the active calendar for 2021. If you've got that. If you haven't, head on to the Later Life training page. It's a website and you'll be able to go to the shop and have a look. So I know Bex is putting a revised movement snack active calendar up quite soon. That will be free to download. We're halfway through the year pretty much. So that will be available shortly. I'm not sure whether it's quite available just yet, but watch this space. We will also have a press and a push with a stretchy thing, if you've got a stretchy thing, or with a tea towel of some description. Look, mine's hanging just on the back of the chair there, if I tilt you to the side. So just something grabbed off the radiator, a sock, a pair of tights, something with a bit of stretchiness in it is good. We're going to have a look at some wrist moves as well today. So those all-important wrists. Odil's in, Rosemary's in, Christine Lewis has just joined us. There's 10 of us on board at the moment. I'm just going to check the time because I don't think your messages are coming through just yet. Hang on, wait there. I'll be right back. It's 12 noon. Let's do the 3, 2, 1. Right, here we are. Deep breath. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. It's officially 12 o'clock. You know what time it is. No afternoon or even day would be complete without a midday movement snack. So I'm Kelsey Leverton and I bring to you this 12 noon movement snack. It's perhaps one of our most varied movement snacks that we do throughout our 3 scheduled in slots. And just before we get started, just check your area, make sure that you're happy with the space that you've got around you, and of course with the external support. If you are coming into standing for any part of this movement snack, then you may need a bit of external support. It means of heavy furniture, windowsill, radiator, shelving I've got around me here. I'm just going to give myself a bit more room actually. If you're doing anything from a seated position, a firm chair is normally the best chair to move from. It's less squidgy and less comfortable, so you may feel yourself be better from a chair like a dining chair of some description. Right, let's in seated take a little bit of lifting and shifting. This moves us forwards out the way of the arms of the chair if your chair's got them. And we can set up feet flat, hip distance, knees hip distance, hips should be hip distance, and then lengthening, growing tall, extending through, opening the posture before we add some movement to this all improved posture that you've just tweaked. Foot pedals can come in first, and that can quickly move into some leg marches. It's up to you. Take your pick between foot pedals and leg marches. In standing, same again. Take your pick between foot pedals and leg marches. I'm just going to put you back a little bit. Keep moving, whatever you're doing though. That might be a bit better. Standing tall, either both hands onto some support in front of you, or just with a light touch, handheld support to the side of you perhaps. Now, as you know, I'm just going to move around, switch between seated, standing, front view, side profile view, but wherever you are, just stay where you are in whatever position you're happy in. This circulation boost can be added to by adding an arm swing. So have a go at just fixing the elbow at that 90-degree angle. No set squares or compasses required. And drive the elbow back to get a good movement from the shoulder. If you need to hold on throughout, just switch sides at some point and only release your support if you know that you feel steady, coordinated, your balance feels okay as you've got arms and legs moving together. In seated, your hips might start to get a bit achy. So you can reduce that down to a foot pedal or a nothing with the legs as you just take a bit of focus on the arm swings. Feel free to put in whatever combination suits you. And 3 minutes-ish of circ boosting normally is just enough to prepare our body, wake everything up, warm through the joints, get the fluid within your joints warmed up as well, allowing for freer movement, and the muscles as well. They start to increase their temperature and warm through a little bit as well. Take a steady pause there, bring yourself to a stop. Just take a few longer, deeper breaths, and that's literally where this circulation booster should leave you feeling. Not too huffy and puffy, just a little bit of a raise through breathing rate and heart rate, but completely manageable and not too tiring. Now I can hear some rattling going on in the kitchen. I'm wondering what the cat's trying to eat. He better watch out though, because I'll be after him after we've finished the movement snack. But there's movement snacking to be achieved. Right, heel raises and toe raises. We're doing these throughout this week's noontime movement snacks. Here's your standing option. Head, shoulders, hips, knees and ankles, not knees and toes, but you know what I mean. All stacked and in alignment with one another. That means our hands are resting lightly and we're trying not to hunker over our support. Keep that all straight directly down through your legs. Here's the heel raise, up, up, up with the lift there. Tippy toes, weight over the big toe and the one next door to it. Slowly come down. You might well feel this working through calf muscles, toes, feet, all of the muscles within the feet, the joints and the ligaments and tendons. Ankle as well, all of the things around your ankle working, and by reducing or lightening your support, you could bring this into a bit more of a balanced challenge. So I'll leave it with you. If you want to work more on strengthening through those leg muscles, lower leg muscles and feet, then come slower through the movement, slower through the lift, and definitely brakes on through the lowering phase. If you want to work on a bit more balance, then reduce your support to what you're holding on to. Here in seated, we don't really impact and influence balance in seated, but we can work through the heel lift, which is more, we're not loading through. It's just a bit of preparation for perhaps coming into standing a bit further down the line for you. You might feel it working into your calves a little bit. I offered yesterday a bit of an elbow lean forwards, but try and keep the posture lengthened. Bit of weight through the calves here can be added by loading a bit of the top half of your body weight through your thighs. And this can be done with a grandchild perhaps on your knee, or some sort of load. And that might be a bag of shopping that you decide to sit with on your knee. It might be a handbag, ladies, depending on what you got in your handbag. I don't know. But this can add load and give the calf muscles a little bit more opportunity to strengthen through using extra resistance and extra load. There we have a few heel raises for you. We're going to have a look at some toe raises now. So as I've mentioned, in seated, we won't particularly be working through any gains of balance or challenges through balance. What we can work on though is a bit through ankle mobility, lifting the toes, lifting the ball of the foot. You might feel some firing up through the muscles alongside your shins and across the top of your ankles, top of your feet. We can load that through again if that feels right for you and not too uncomfortable here. We could even add a bit of a hold here in seated for 3, 4, 5 seconds maximum before relaxing. Feel free to give your leaning forwards posture a bit of recovery as well. In standing, this could potentially be a bit more balance challenging. But here's the setup so that we've not got any compensating, cheating type movements coming into play. Everything long and stacked, head, shoulders, hips, knees and toes, knees and toes. Knees are bent though here and bum is tucked under. Take the weight into your toe, into your heels even, the other way round, and lift up. Control and lower back down. And just reset those knees. Make sure that they've not snapped or locked out throughout any part of this movement. Now, to increase a balance challenge, we need to try and feel a little bit wobbly. And that would come by lightening or even releasing some of your handheld support. So keep on moving through whatever option you've got there. If you get a little bit of aching or a burning sensation, then that will be signifying a challenge through the muscle, and you might want to pedal your feet out in between a few of those just to flush out and recover through that area where you're feeling the ache or the bit of burning sensation. So there's a few different ways in which we can tweak, modify, change a particular movement and turn it into a bit more of a balance challenge, a mobility move, or a strengthening type action. There we have you. Have a rest there, take a pause. Right, what have we got next? We've got a push and a pull, or a press and a push. In standing, here's your option for either a wall press, so hands against wall, just a bit wider than shoulders, but with your palm level with your chest line. There's how your hands can be against the wall. If you've got a ledge, your wrists might appreciate not being quite bent this far back. So it might give you an easier position with the hands a little bit lower, perhaps against the work surface, or I've got the back of a heavy piece of furniture, a chair here. So here we can press and push. Now that can be accompanied with a little bit of a step forwards if you need it. Keeping the feet flat, and you can see how my body's on a little bit of a diagonal now. That will give you a bit more load through the chest, through the front of shoulders, and through the backs of your arms as well. Keep going with through presses and pushes like that if you're in standing. The further you walk your feet away, the stronger that particular move will feel. Right, if you've got a stretchy thing then, and you want to come into seated, or you are seated already, see if your shoulders will allow you to wrap that around the back of the chair and holding the band, so you're all the way back in the chair too, and holding your hands near to your chest, under your armpits area, and then we can press and control back from there. So that's if you've got a stretchy thing, like a TheraBand. If you haven't, and I know some of you haven't got this, and we don't need to buy bits of equipment, we can do a little something else with our tea towel, pair of tights, leggings, long sock that you've just got off the radiator. Fix one hand into your hip here. This is the fixing arm. Take the other hand and bring it back to your armpit area. Can you see that from there? Tucked back with the elbow. Now I'm just going to have that quite taut across my body here, and I'm going to press forwards and across slightly and then draw it back. So we're creating our own muscular tension, but working through the same kind of press and push action that those of you in standing are up to at the moment. Few on that side, and then it's about changing the diagonal position, changing the grip. So you've got your tail coming out near your little finger here, and then turning the hand so you've got the tail coming up near your thumb in that position. And there we have a press across and a draw back with the elbow. So it goes, we've got the band in a slightly diagonal position. You probably see that a bit better from the front there. Squeeze into the upper back, press through, feeling the squeeze through just the one side of your chest area there. Is there a bit going on around the back of the arm too? I can feel that working through now. So a few different options for a press and a push. And these are the kind of movements or exertions that we need to put into place if we're lying down in bed and we're having to push ourselves up into seated perhaps. If you want to prop yourself up, if you're down lying onto the floor, or you're trying to prop yourself up in bed, we will use some of the muscles in the arms, of course, to help us do that. And of course, if we're in any kind of on the floor or crawling type positions, if you're just crawling across the bed, let's say, or moving across the floor, we'll need to put some load through the chest, the backs of the arms, and have our upper back area engaging to hold that position that you might be in on hands and knees, let's say. There we have your press and push. supported by Make Movement Your Mission tea towel or additional random tea towel out of your drawer, anything off the radiator, or a specific stretchy thing. Right, have a rest there, maybe just crowbar in a few shoulder circles, maybe a few arm swings in seated or standing, take your pick. Just a little bit of extra additional movement can help just boost and flush through some circulation after you've done any type moves that challenge the muscles. We're going to move on to all important wrist moves now. So in your seated or standing position, I'll just invite you to explore the movements and the positions that we can get into with regards to our wrist movements. What can we achieve around the wrists? Some knocking. That can be with different positions here. Okay, just explore those and have a little bit of a move around those different actions of the wrist. Now I'm going to bring you in a bit closer here. You can use, let me just bring you in a bit closer here. There we go. You can use your thigh to rest your forearm against as you do some lifting and lowering. So some arcing of the wrist here, and then bringing the tucked in knuckles down to knock your knee. There we go, a few moves there. Have a go on both sides, of course. Or if you are in standing, or you're seated and you're able to pop your hand and arm along the tabletop, for example, then we can kind of get the same thing underway from this standing position. Now, if you wanted to increase a bit of grippage, get something within your grip and engage grip at the same time as going through some different movements around the wrist area, you can add a little bit of grippage and a little bit of extra, hang on, get it in the right place so it doesn't cramp up my fingers. You can add a little bit of extra resistance through just anchoring your band, your stretchy thing, your non-stretchy thing, or Make Movement Your Mission tea towel. So add in a little bit of extra effort for those wrists to work through. Change sides. I'm just thought I've only done the one side and I can really feel that my wrist and a bit of through forearms and grip has had some good work there. Might be a bit more difficult for me here to show you, but explore what grip feels best, whether you want to work without an anchor. I'll just move my chair a tiny bit there, look. Without an anchor, but just working through a bit of grip, whether you want to add an anchor, which gives extra effort for the wrist to motion through. I'm just readjusting the position of the tea towel at times so that it's not wrapping around my fingers. It's exiting my grip in the right position for my anchor to be in place as well. There we go. And I think sometimes in this position, if we've got a load, whether it be a full kettle, a saucepan, something like that, we can feel that tugging on our wrist, and our wrist perhaps not able to support and stabilise as well when we've got a bit of a load at the end here that we're holding on to. So this will secure grip and positioning of wrists as you do daily tasks of getting stuff done in the kitchen or anything, lifting and carrying rise that require grippage and strength through forearms and wrist. There we go. I don't need to come in onto my knees to see you off now, everybody. I can just hotch my chair round and take that lean position into my own knees. Might crowbar in a few heel raises, as I say, ta-ra to you all. So there we have your midday movement snack with featured heel raises and toe raises with the approach to them, giving you different outcomes and challenges perhaps. A few all-important wrist moves and some pressing and pushing, which of course relate to lots of stuff that's already in your day. Take those with you, crowbar in a few more if you like, or if you find yourself lying down, for example, you need to push yourself up, really do that as strongly as you can so that you replicate some of the stuff that we've done today. I'm going to leave you lot alone now. The afternoon is all yours, but there will be a 4 p.m. for you, ready and waiting, with Bex covering Dave, I think, today. Thank you all for your movement snacking efforts, and I will see you at 12 noon tomorrow. Check you later. Have a great afternoon.